sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap, and munched, and munched, and munched. Give me, quoth I. Raunch thee, witch! The rump-fed Runyon cries. Her husband's to Aleppo gone, master o' the tiger. But in a sieve I'll thither sail, and like a rat without a tail, I'll do, and I'll do. I'll drain him dry as hay. Sleep shall neither night nor day hang upon his penthouse lid. He shall live a man forbid. Weary 7 nights, 9 times 9, shall he dwindle, peak, and pine. When shall we 3 meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the hill.
There to meet with Macbeth.
Fair is foul, and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that?
This is the sergeant, who like a good and hearty soldier fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend. Say to the king the knowledge of the broilers thou didst lead it.
Doubtful it stood, as 2 spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless Macdonald, worthy to be a rebel, for to that the multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him. And fortune, on his damned quarrel smiling, showed like a rebel's whore. But all's too weak for brave Macbeth. Well he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution, like valor's minion, carved out his passage till he faced the foe. There, he unseamed him from the nave to the chaps and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Valiant cousin, worthy gentleman.
No sooner justice had, with valor armed, compelled these skipping kerns to trust their heels, but the Norwegian lord, surveying vantage with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismayed not this our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?
Yes, as sparrows eagles, or the hare the lion. If I say sooth, I must report they were as cannons overcharged with double cracks, so they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe. Except they meant to bathe in reeking wounds or memorize another Golgotha. I cannot tell. But I am faint. My gashes cry for help.
So well thy words become thee as thy wounds. They smack of honor both. Go, get him, surgeons. Who comes here?
The worthy Thane of Roth.
The haste is to her eyes, so should she look that seems to speak things straight.
God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict. Till that Bellona's bridegroom, bold Macbeth, confronted him with self-comparisons, point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit. And to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness. No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go, pronounce his present death, and with his former title, greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
A drum! A drum! Macbeth doth come!
The Weird Sisters, hand in hand, coasters of the sea and land, thus do go about, thrice to thine, and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9. Peace! The charm's wound up.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How far is called to forest? What are these? So withered and so wild in their attire that looks not like the inhabitants of the earth, and yet are aunt. Live you, or are you aught that man may question?
Speak if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis!
All hail Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor!
All hail Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter!
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? In the name of truth, are ye fantastical? Or that indeed which outwardly ye show? My noble partner you greet with present grace and great prediction, of noble having and of royal hope that he seems wrapped withal. To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
Hail!
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 Lesser than Macbeth, and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo!
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail!
Stay, you imperfect speakers. Tell me more. By Sinel's death, I know I am Thane of Glamis. But how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you!
The earth hath bubbles as the water has, and these are of them. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air. And what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they had stayed.
Were such things here as we do speak about? Or have we eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
And Thane of Cawdor too, went it not so?
To the self-same tune and words. Who's there? The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success. And when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' fight, his wonders and his praises do contend which should be thine or his. Silence with that as thick as tale came post with post, and everyone did bear thy praises, and his kingdom's great defense, and poured them down before him.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks.
He bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor. In which addition hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine. What? Can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose. But treason's capital, confessed and proved, have overthrown him.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor, the greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings? When those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
But 'tis strange, and oftentimes to win us to our harm. The instruments of darkness tells us truths, win us with honest trifles, to betrays in deepest consequence.
Cousins, a word I pray you.
Two truths are told as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor! If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair? Make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature. Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not.
Look how our partner's wrapped.
Chance will have me king. Why? Chance may crown me without my stir.
New honors come upon him like our strange garments. Cleave not to their mold, but with the aid of use.
Come what come may, time and the hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favor. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered where every day I turn the leaf to read them. Let us toward the king. Think upon what hath chanced, and at more time, the interim having weighed it, let us speak our free hearts each to other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come, friends!
Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they have not yet come back, but I have spoke with one who saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treason, implored your highness pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like the leaving it. He died as one that had been studied in his death to throw away the dearest thing he owned as for a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman, on whom I built an absolute trust. Worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now is heavy on me. Only I have left to say, more is thy due than more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe, in doing it, pays itself. Your Highness's part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state, children and servants.
I have begun to plant thee, and will labor to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, that hast no less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
There if I grow, the harvest is your own.
Son, daughter, thanes, all you whose places are the nearest, know. We will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honor must, not unaccompanied, invest him only, but signs of nobleness like stars shall shine on all deservers. From hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger, and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So, humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
The Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down, or else o'erleap, for in my way it lies.
stars hide your fires. Let not light see my dark and deep desires. The eye winketh the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest report they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air into which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me, and referred me to the coming on of time with, "Hail, king that shalt be." This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, and not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou holily, wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What is thy tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to say it. Is not thy master with him, who, wert so, would have informed for preparation?
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him who, almost dead for breath, had scarcely more than would make up his message.
Give him tending. He brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts. Unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood. Stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the fect and it. Come to my woman's breasts and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers. Wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold. Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by the all hail hereafter. Thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Thy face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall, to all our nights and days to come, give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
See, our honored hostess.
All our service, in every point, twice done, and then done double. We're poor and single business to contend against those honors deep and broad wherewith your majesty loads our house.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the heels and had a purpose to be his purveyor, but he rides well. And his great love, sharp as his spur, hath holpen to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guest tonight.
Your servants ever.
Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly and shall continue our graces towards him.
If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. But in these cases, we still have judgment here. That we but teach bloody instruction, which, being taught, return to plague the inventor. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then, as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. How now? What news?
He is almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has.
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk when you dressed yourself? Have it slept since? And wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteem'st the ornament of life, yet live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat in the adage?
Prithee, peace. I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. Nor time, nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail?
We fail! But screw your courage to the sticking place and will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him, his two chamberlain will I with wine and wassail so convince that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbic only. When in swinish sleep their drenched natures lies as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Will it not be received?
when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber, and used their very daggers, that they have done it?
Who dares receive it other? As we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon his death.
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
How goes the night, dear?
The moon is down. I have not heard the clock.
And she goes down at 12.
I take it 'tis later, ma'am.
A heavy summons lies like lead upon me, and yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers restrain in me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose. Who's there?
A friend.
Oh, what, sir? Not yet at rest. The king's abed. He hath been in unusual pleasure, and sent forth great largesse to your offices. I dreamt last night of the 3 weird sisters. To you they have showed some truth.
I think not of them. Yet, when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure.
If you shall cleave to my consent, when 'tis, it shall make honor for you.
So I lose none in seeking to augment it, but still keep my bosom franchised and allegiance clear. I shall be counseled.
Good repose the while.
Thanks, sir, the like to you.
Go bid thy mistress, when my drink is ready, she strike upon the bell. Get thee to bed! Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not, fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind? A false creation proceeding from the heat-oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshallest to me the way that I was going. And such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade in dudgeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. Oh, there's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now, o'er the 1/2 world, nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Whiles I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds too cold breath gives. I go and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do muck their charge with snores. I've drugged their possets, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What?
Alack! I am afraid they have awaked, and 'tis not done. The tent and not the deed confounds us. Hark! I laid their daggers ready. He could not miss 'em. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it. My husband.
I've done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended?
Aye.
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donalbain.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say, a sorry sight.
There's one did laugh in his sleep, and one cried murder, that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them, but they did say their prayers and address them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen the other, as they had seen me with these hangman's hands. Listening their fear, I could not say amen when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could not I pronounce amen? I had most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. The innocent sleep. Sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care. Death of each day's life. Sore labor's bath. Balm of hurt minds. Great nature's second course. Chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still it cried, sleep no more through all the house. Glamis hath the murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy thing, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain-sickly of things. Go, get some water, and wash this filthy witness from your hands. Why have you brought the daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go, carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I am afraid to think what I have done. Look on it again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose, give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
What is that knocking? How is it with me when every noise appalls me? What hands are here? Pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? No, this my hand will rather the multitudinous seas incarnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber.
Here's a knocking indeed.
A little water clears us of this deed. How easy it is then. Your constancy had left you unattended. Hark! More knocking!
If a man were porter of Hellgate, he should avoid turning the key.
Get on your nightgown, lest occasion call us and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best not know myself. Wake Duncan with thy knocking, I would thou couldst.
Knock, knock, knock! Who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Oh, knock, knock! Who's there in the other devil's name? Knock, knock, knock! Who's there? Knock, knock! Never a quiet! What are you? This place is too cold for hell. I'll double porter it no further. Anon! Anon! I pray you, remember the porter.
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we were carousing till the second cock, and drink, sir, is a great provoker of three things.
What three things does drink especially provoke?
Marry, sir! Nose painting, sleep, and urine. Lechery, sir. It provokes and unprovokes. It provokes the desire, but takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery. It makes him and it mars him. It sets him on. Yeah. It takes him off. Persuades him and disheartens him. Makes him stand to and not stand to. In conclusion, equivocates him in a sleep and giving him the lie, leaves him.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
That it did, sir! At the very throat on me, but I requited him for his lie.
Is thy master stirring? Our knocking has awaked him. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy thane?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I have almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know this is a joyful trouble to you, but yet 'tis one.
The labor we delight in, physics pain. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call for it, 'tis my limited service.
Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did appoint so.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay our chimneys were blown down, and, as they say, lamentings heard of air. Strange screams of death, and prophesying with accents terrible of dire combustion and confused events, new hatchet of a woeful time. The obscure bird clamored to the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverish and did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
My younger remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it.
Horror, horror, horror! Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Confusion now hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke out the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life of the building.
What is it you say? The life?
Mean you his majesty?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new gorgon. Do not bid me speak, see, and then speak yourselves. Awake! Awake! Ring the alarum bell, murder and treason! Banquo and Donalbain, Malcolm, awake! Shake off this downy sleep, death's counterfeit, and look on death itself! Up, and serve the great doom's image! Malcolm! Banquo! As from your graves rise up and walk like sprites to countenance this horror!
What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley all the sleepers of the house? Speak! Speak!
Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a lady's ear would murder as it fell. Oh, Banquo! Banquo! Our royal master's murdered!
Oh, alas, what in our house? Too cruel anywhere.
Dear Duff, I prithee contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. For from this instant there's nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and grace is dead.
What is amiss?
You are, and do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered.
Huh. By whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and faces were all bathed with blood. So were her daggers, which, unwiped, we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man! The expedition of my violent love outrun the pauser, reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with fallen blood. His gashed stabs looked like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. There, the murderers, steeped in the colors of their trade, their daggers unmannerly breached with gore. Who could refrain that had a heart to love, and in his heart courage to make his love known?
Help me, handsome. Look to the lady.
Why do we hold our tongues that most may claim this argument for hours?
What should be spoken here? Where our fate hidden in auger hole may rush and seize us. Let's away.
And when we have our naked frailties hid, that suffer in exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work.
Let us briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
Well contented.
What will you do? Let's not consort with them. To show an unfelt sorrow is an office which the false man does easy. Out to England.
To Ireland, aye. Our separated fortune shall keep us both the safer.
Mm-hmm.
Where we are, there's daggers and men's smiles. The near in blood, the near bloody.
This murderous shaft that shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore to horse, and let us not be dainty of leave taking.
Within the volume of my time, I have seen hours dreadful, and things strange, but this sore night have trifled former knowings.
By the clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles the traveling lamp. This night's predominance, or the day's shame, that darkness does the face of earth entomb when living light should kiss it.
'Tis unnatural, even like the deed that's done. On Tuesday's last, a falcon towering, and her pride of place was by a mousing owl hawked at and killed.
And Duncan's horses broke their stalls, flung out, contending against obedience as they would make war with mankind.
'Tis said they ate each other.
They did so, to the amazement of mine eyes that looked upon't. Here comes the good Macduff. How goes the world, sir, now?
Why, see you not?
It's known who did this more than bloody deed.
Those that Macbeth hath slain.
Alas, the day! What good could they pretend?
They were suborned. Malcolm and Donalbain, the king's two heirs, are stolen away and fled, which puts upon them suspicion of the deed.
'Gainst nature still. Thriftless ambition that will raven up thine own life's means. Then 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named and gone to Scone to be invested.
Will you to Schoon?
No, cousin. Will to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there.
Adieu. Lest our old robes sit easier than our new.
Thou hast it now, King, Cawdor, Glamis, all, as the weird sisters promised. And I fear thou playedest most foully for it. Yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and mother of many kings. As there comes truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine, why, by the verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? But hush, no more.
Here's our chief guest.
If she had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast.
Tonight, we hold a solemn supper, friend, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with a most indissoluble tie, forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
We should have else desired your good advice in this day's council. But we'll take tomorrow. Is it far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill up the time, twixt this and supper. Go not my horse the better, I must become a borrower of the night. For a dark hour, or twain.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. Hie you to horse. Adieu, till you return at night. Goes Fleance with you?
Aye, my good lord. Our time does call upon us.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Cyril, a word with you. Attend those men our pleasure?
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in her royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much she dares, and to that dauntless temper of her mind, she hath a wisdom that doth guide her valor to act in safety. There's none but she whose being I do fear, and under her my genius is rebuked. She chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to her. Then, prophet-like, they hailed her mother to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my grip, thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I filed my mind. For them, the gracious Duncan, have I murdered, put rancors in the vessel of my peace, only for them, and mine eternal jewel, given to the common enemy of man to make them kings, the seeds of Banquo kings. Rather than so, come, fate, into the list, and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? Now, go to the door and stay there till we call. Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please, your highness.
Well then, now have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was she in the times past which held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent selves. This I made good to you in our last conference, how you were crossed, the instruments, who wrought with them, and all things else that might say, thus did Banquo.
You made it known to us.
I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Are you so gospeled to pray for this good girl and for her issue?
We are men, my liege.
Aye, in the catalogue ye go for men. As hounds and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, and demi-wolves are clept all by the name of dogs.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world have so incensed that I am reckless what I do to spite the world.
And I another, so weary with disasters, tugged with fortune, that I would set my life on any chance to mend it or be rid on't.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is she mine. And in such bloody distance that every minute of her being thrusts against my nearest of life. And though I could, with barefaced power, sweep her from my sight and bid my will avouch it, yet I must not. For certain friends that are both hers and mine, whose loves I may not drop. And thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Though our lives
Your spirits shine through you. Within this hour at most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves. The moment on it, for it must be done tonight. And something from the palace. And with her Fleance, her child that keeps her company, whose absence is no less material to me than is her mother's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll call upon you straight. Abide within. It is concluded, Banquo. Thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
Is Banquo gone from court?
Aye, madam. But returns again tonight.
Say to the king I would attend his leisure for a few words.
Madam, I will.
Naught's had, all spent, where our desire is got without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy.
But who did bid thee join with us?
Macbeth.
He needs not our mistrust, since he delivers our offices and what we have to do to the direction just.
Then stand with us. The west yet glimmers, and near approaches the subject of our watch.
Hark, I hear horses.
How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone, musing those thoughts which should indeed have died with them they think on? Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself, whilst our poor malice remains in danger of her former tooth. But let the frame of things disjoint. Both the worlds suffer, ere we will eat our meal in fear, and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we, to gain our peace, have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst, nor steel nor poison can touch him further.
Come on, gentle, my lord. Sleek o'er your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love, and so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo.
present her eminence both with eye and tongue. Unsafe the while that we must lave our honors in these flattering streams, and make our faces visards to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo and her Fleance lives.
But in them nature's copy is not eternal.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable. Then be thou jocund. Ere the bat hath flown her cloistered flight this night, there shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand, cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens, and the crow makes wing to the rooky wood.
Treachery! Fly, good Fleance! Fly! Fly! Fly!
Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, whilst night's cruel agents to their praise do rouse.
Thou mayest revenge!
Thou marvelst at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill.
Who did strike out the light?
Wast not the way?
There's but one down. The child is fled.
We have lost the best half of our affair.
Well, let's away and say how much is done.
You know your own degrees. Sit down. At first and last, the hearty welcome!
Oh, thanks, Your Majesty.
Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends. For my heart speaks, they are welcome.
See? They encounter thee with their heart's thanks. Ha! Both sides are even. Here, I'll sit in the midst. Be large in mirth. Anon, we'll drink a measure, the table round. There's blood upon thy face.
'Tis Banquo's then.
'Tis better thee without than she within. Is she dispatched?
My lord, her throat is cut. That I did for her.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good that did the like for Fleance. Thou didst it, thou art the nonpareil.
Most royal sir, Fleance escaped.
Then comes my fit again. I had else been perfect, whole as the marble, founded as the rock, as broad and general as the casing air. But now I am cabined, cribbed, confined, bound in to saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo's safe.
Aye, my good lord. Safe in a ditch she bides, with 20 trenched gashes on her head, the least a death to nature.
Thanks for that. There the grown serpent lies. The worm that's fled hath nature that in time will venom breed. No teeth for the present. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer.
Sweet remembrancer. Now, good digestion, wait on appetite, and health on both.
May it please your highness sit?
Here had we now our country's honor roofed. Were the graced person of our Banquo present? Who may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance?
Her absence, sir, lays blame upon her promise. Please to your highness to grace us with your royal company.
The table's full.
Here is a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is it that moves your highness?
Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me.
Noble Lennox, rise. His highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you, keep seat. The fit is momentary. Upon a thought, he will again be well. If much you note him, you shall offend him and extend his passion. Feed, and regard him not. Are you a man?
And a bold one that dare look on that which might appall the devil.
Proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. These flaws and starts, imposters to true fear, would well become a woman's story at a winter's fire, authorized by her grandam. Shame itself! Why do you make such faces? When all's done, you look but on a stool.
Prithee, see there. Behold, look. Oh! How say you? Why? What care I? If thou canst nod, speak too. If charnel houses and our graves must send those that we bury back, our monuments shall be the maws of kites.
What? Quite unmanned in folly.
If I stand here, I saw her.
Fie for shame.
Blood hath been shed ere now in the olden time. Aye, and since too, murders have been performed, too terrible for the ear. The time has been that when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end. But now they rise again with 20 mortal murders on their crowns and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My noble lord, your worthy friends do lack you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all, then I'll sit down. Give me some wine, fill full. I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss. Would she were here. To all and her we thirst, and all to all.
Our duties and the pledge.
Avaunt and quit my sight! Let the earth hide thee. Thy bones are marrowless. Thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with.
Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom. 'Tis no other, only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
What man dare, I dare. Take any shape but that, and my firm nerves shall never tremble. Or be alive again, and dare me to the desert with thy sword. Hence, horrible shadow! Unreal mockery, hence! Why so? Being gone, I am a man again. Pray you sit still!
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with most admired disorder.
Can such things be? And overcome us like a summer's cloud without our special wonder? You make me strange even to the disposition that I owe. When now I think you can behold such sights
And keep the natural ruby of your cheeks when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
Pray you, speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night and better health attend His Majesty.
A kind good night to all.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. How sayest thou that Macduff denies her person at our great bidding?
Did you send to her, sir?
I hear it by the way, but I will send. There's not a one of them, but in their house I keep a servant feed. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak. For now I am bent to know by the worst means the worst. For mine own good all causes shall give way. I am in blood stepped in so far that, should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as go o'er. Strange things I have in head, that will to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned.
You lack the season of all natures, sleep.
Come, will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young indeed.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open locks! Whoever knocks.
How now, you secret, dark, and midnight hags? What is it you do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you by that which you profess. However you come to know it, answer me. Though you untie the winds and let them fight against the churches, though the yeasty waves confound and swallow navigation up, till castles topple on their warders' heads, even till destruction sicken. Answer me to what I ask you.
Speak!
Demand!
We'll answer.
Say if thou'dst rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call him. Let me see him.
Come, high or low, thyself and office deftly show.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought. Hear his speech, but say thou not.
Macbeth, 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 beware Macduff, beware the Thane of Fife. Dismiss me, enough.
Whate'er thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast harped my fear aright. But one word more.
He will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent than the first. Macbeth! Macbeth! Macbeth!
Had I 3 ears, I'd hear thee.
Macbeth!
Then live, Macduff! What need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make assurance double sure, and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder. What is this that rises like the issue of a king, and wears upon her baby brow the round and top of sovereignty?
Listen, but speak not to't.
One get it war, blood am now leap. Roser up, snicker was there for fish. What naive, shook never van lush, step, miss, night, no maclash. What hand is not your hot domer or your.
Oh, that will never be! Who can impress the forest? Bid the tree unfix his earthbound root. Sweet Bodeman's good. Rebellious dead rise never, till the wood of Burnham rise. And our high-placed Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, pay his breath to time and mortal custom. Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more!
I will be satisfied! Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you! Let me know!
Show!
Show!
Show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo! Down! Thy crown does sear mine eyeballs, and thy hair, thou other gold-bound brow, is like the first. The third is like the former. Filthy hags, why do you show me this? A fourth? Stark eyes! What? Will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet? A seventh? I'll see no more! And yet the eighth appears, who bears a glass, which shows me many more. And some I see that twofold balls and treble scepters carry. Horrible sight! Now I see 'tis true, for the blunt-boltered Banquo smiles upon me, points at them for hers. What? Is this so? Where are they? Gone? Let this pernicious hour stand accursed in the calendar. Come in without there!
What's your grace's will?
Saw you the weird sisters?
No, my lord.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected be the air whereon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I did hear the galloping of horse. Who was it came by?
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, that bring you word. Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my good lord.
Time! Thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The flighty purpose never is o'ertook unless the deed go with it. From this moment, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand. And even now, to crown my thoughts with acts, be it thought and done. The castle of Macduff I will surprise, seize upon Fife, give to the edge of the sword her wife, her babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace her in her line. No boasting like a fool, this deed I'll do before this purpose cool. But no more sights. Where are these gentlemen? Come, bring me where they are.
What had she done to make her fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
She had none. Her flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was her wisdom or her fear.
Wisdom? To leave her wife, to leave her babe, from whence herself does fly. She loves us not. All is the fear and nothing is the love. So little is the flight that runs against all reason.
My dearest coz, I pray you school yourself. For your partner, she is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further, but cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves. When we hold rumor from what we fear and yet know not what we fear. Things at the worst will cease, or else climb upward to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you. I am so much a fool should I stay longer. It would be my disgrace and your discomfort. I take my leave at once.
Sirrah, your mother's dead. what will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, Mother.
What, with worms and flies?
With what I get, and so do they.
Thou speakest with all thy wit, and yet faith for wit enough for thee.
Was she a traitor, Mother?
Aye, that she was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Everyone that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
And must they all be hanged that swear and lie?
Everyone.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
Then the liars and swearers are fools. For there are liars and swearers enough to beat the honest men and hang up them.
God help thee, little bird. But how wilt thou do?
If she were dead, you'd weep for her. If you would not, it were a good sign I should quickly have a new mother.
Poor prattler, how thou talkest!
If you will take a homely man's advice, be not found here. Hence with your little ones. I dare abide no longer.
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm. But I remember now I am in this earthly world where to do harm is often laudable, and to do good account a dangerous folly. Why then, alas, do I put up the womanly defense to say that I have done no harm? What is this face?
Where is Macduff?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where thou mayest find her.
She's a traitor.
Thou liest, thou shag-haired villain!
What? You egg? Young fry of treachery.
No.
He has killed me, Mother. Run away, I pray you.
Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there weep our sad bosoms empty.
Let us rather hold fast the mortal sword, and like soldiers bestride our downfall in birthdom. Each new morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face, that it resounds as if it felt with Scotland and yelled out like syllable of dolour.
What I believe, I'll wail. What no believe. And what I can redress, as I shall find the time to friend, I will. This tyrant whose sole name blisters our tongue was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He had not touched you, yet. I am young, but something you may deserve of him through me, and wisdom to offer up a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease an angry God.
I am not treacherous.
A Macbeth is. Angels are bright still, though the brightest fell. Though all things foul would wear the brows of grace, yet grace must still look so.
I have lost my hopes.
Why in that rawness left you wife and child? Those precious motives. Strong knots of love without leave taking.
Fare thee well, Lord. I would not be the villain that thou thinkst.
I speak not in absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added unto her wounds. I think withal there would be hands uplifted in my right. But for all this, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before, by him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself, I mean. in whom I know all the particulars of vice so grafted that when they shall be opened, cruel Macbeth will seem as pure as snow, and the poor state esteem him as a lamb, being compared with my confinement harms.
Not in the legions of horrid hell could come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, luxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious, smacking of every sin that has a name. But there's no bottom, none, in my voluptuousness. Your wives, your daughters, your matrons, and your maids could not fill up the cistern of my lust. Better Macbeth than such a one to reign.
Boundless intemperance in nature is a tyranny. But fear not yet to take upon you what is yours. There cannot be that vulture in you to devour so many as will to greatness dedicate themselves, finding it so inclined.
With this there grows, in my most ill-composed affection, such a stanchless avarice, that were I king, I should cut off the nobles for their lands, desire his jewels in this other's house, destroying them for wealth.
This avarice sticks deeper, grows with more pernicious root than summer seeming lust, and it hath been the sword of our slain kings. Yet do not fear. Scotland hath poisons to fill up your will of your mere own.
Had I power, I should pour the sweet milk of Concord into hell. Uproar the universal peace, confound all the unity on earth.
Oh, Scotland, Scotland.
If such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No, not to live. O nation miserable, when shalt thou see thy wholesome days again, since that the truest issue of thy throne by his own interdiction stands accursed? These evils thou repeat'st upon thyself hath banished me from Scotland. Thy hope ends here.
Macduff, this noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the dark scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honor. Devilish Macbeth by many of these trains had sought to win me into his power, but God above deal between thee and me. For even now I put myself to thy direction, unspeak mine own detraction. Here, abjure the taints and blames I laid upon myself, for strangers to my nature. What I am is thine and my poor country's to command. Now we'll together, and our chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once, it's just hard to reconcile. See who comes here.
My countryman, but yet I know him not.
My ever-gentle cousin, welcome hither.
I know her now. Good God, betimes remove the means that makes us strangers.
Sorry, men.
Stand Scotland where it did.
Alas, poor country almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother but our grave, where nothing, who knows nothing, is once seen to smile. Where sighs and groans and shrieks that rend the air are made but not marked.
What's the newest grief?
That of an hour's age doth hiss the speaker, each minute teems a new one.
How does my wife?
Why well?
And all my children?
Well too.
The tyrant has not battered at their peace.
No, they were well at peace when I did leave them.
Be not a miser of your speech. How goest?
Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers. Make women fight to doff their dire distresses.
Be it their comfort. We are coming thither.
would I could answer this comfort with the like. But I have words that would be howled out in the desert air where hearing should not latch them.
What concern they? The general cause?
The main part pertains to you alone.
If it be mine, keep it not from me. Quickly, let me have it!
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard.
I guess at it.
Your castle is surprised. Your wife and babes savagely slaughtered. To relay the manner were on the quarry of these murdered deer, to add the death of you.
Merciful heaven.
My children, too?
Wife, children, servants, all who could be found.
And I must be from thence. My wife, killed too.
I have said.
Be comforted. Let's make us medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children. All my pretty ones. Did you say all? Oh, Hellkite. All! What, all my pretty chickens and their dam at one fell swoop?
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so. But I must also feel it. As a woman, I cannot but remember such things were that were most precious to me. Did heaven look on and would not take their part? Sinful Macduff. They were all struck for thee. Heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger. Blunt not the heart. Enrage it.
Cut short all intermission. Front to front bring thou this fiend of Scotland and myself. Within my sword's length set him. If he escape, heaven forgive him too.
This tune goes manly. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking. And the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
I have 2 nights watched with you, but can perceive no truth in your report. When was it she last walked?
Since His Majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon't, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed. Yet all this while in a most fast sleep.
A great perturbation in nature to receive at once the benefit of sleep and do the effect of watching. In this slumbery agitation, besides her walking and other actual performances, what at any time have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
You may to me, and 'tis most meet you should.
Neither to you nor anyone, having no witness to confirm my speech. Lo you, here she comes. This is her very guise. And upon my life, fast asleep. Observe you, stay close.
How came she by that light?
She has light by her continually. 'Tis her command.
You see her eyes are open.
Aye, but their sense are shut.
What is it she does now? Look how she rubs her hands.
It is an accustomed action with her to seem thus washing her hands. I have known her continue in this a quarter of an hour.
Yet, here's a spot.
Hark, she speaks. I will set down what comes from her to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly.
Out, damn spot. Out, I say. 1,
My
2.
king.
Why then, 'tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie! A soldier and a feared. What need we fear? Who knows it when none can call our power to account? Yet, who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him?
Do you mark that?
A thane of 5 had a wife. Where is she now? What? Will these hands never be clean? No more of that, my lord, no more. You mar all with this starting.
Go to. You have known what you should not.
She has spoke what she should not. I am sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known.
Here's the smell of the blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Oh.
What a sigh is there. The heart is sorely charged.
I would not have such a heart in my chest for the dignity of the whole body.
Out.
This disease is beyond my practice. Yet I have known those which have walked in their sleep who have died holily in their beds.
Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo's buried. She cannot come out of her grave.
Even so.
To bed. To bed. There's knocking at the gate. Come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed. To bed. To bed.
Will she now to bed?
Directly.
Foul whisperings are abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. Infected minds to their deaf pillows will discharge their secrets. More needs she the divine than the physician. God forgive us all. Look after her. Remove from her the means of all annoyance and still keep eyes upon her. So good night. My mind she has mated and amazed my sight. I think, but dare not speak.
Good night, good doctor.
The English power is near, led on by Malcolm and the good Macduff. Revenge is burning them. For their dear causes would to the bleeding and the grim alarm excite the mortified man. Near Burnhamwood shall we well meet them. That way they are coming.
Who knows if Donalbain be with his brother?
For certain, sir, he is not. What does the tyrant?
Great Dunstan he strongly fortifies. Some say he's mad, others that lesser hate him do call it valiant fury. But for certain, he cannot buckle his distempered cause within the belt of rule.
Bring me no more reports! Let them fly all! Till Burnham Wood were moved to Dunsinane, I cannot taint with fear! What's the boy Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. Then fly, false thanes, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt nor shake with fear.
Now does he feel his secret murders sticking on his hands? Those he commands move only in command, nothing in love. Now does he feel his title hang loose about him, like a giant's robe upon a dwarvish thief.
Make we our march towards Burnham, to give obedience where 'tis truly owed.
The devil damn thee, thou cream-faced loon! Where gotst thou that goose look?
There is 10,000...
Geese, villain?
Soldiers, sir.
Go prick thy face and overred thy fear, thou lily-livered boy. What soldiers, Patch? Death of thy soul. Oh, those linen cheeks of thine are counselors to fear. What soldiers, wayface?
The English force, so please you.
Take thy face hence!
We learn no other, but the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunsinane, and will endure our setting down before it.
'Tis his main hope. For where there is advantage to be given, both more and less have given him the revolt. And none serve with him but constrain in things whose hearts are absent too.
Let our just censures attend the true event, and put we on industrious soldiership.
The time approaches that will with due decision make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe. Thought speculative their unsure hopes relate, but certain issue strokes must arbitrate. Towards which we advance the war.
Seyton, I am sick at heart when I behold... Seyton, I say! This push will cheer me ever, or deceit me now. I have lived long enough. My way of life has fallen into the sear, the yellow leaf, and that which should accompany old age is honor, love, obedience, troops of friends I must not look to have, but in their stead curses not loud but deep, mouth honor, breath, which the poor heart would fain deny and dare not. Seyton!
What's your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
All is confirmed, my lord, which was reported.
I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Give me my armor.
'Tis not needed yet.
I'll put it on. Send out more horses. Scur the country round. Hang those that talk of fear. Give me mine armor! How does your patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick-coming fancies that keep her from her rest.
Hear her of that! Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased? Pluck from the memory a rooted sorrow, raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet, oblivious antidote, cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart.
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physic to the dogs, all none of it. Come, put mine armor on. Give me my staff. Seyton, send out. Doctor, the thanes fly from me. Come, sir, dispatch. If thou couldst, doctor, cast the water of my land, find her disease and purge it to a sound and pristine health, I would applaud thee to the very echo that should applaud again. Pull it off, I say! What rhubarb, senna, or what purgative drug would scour these English hence? Hear'st thou of them?
Aye, my good lord. Your royal preparation makes us hear something.
Bring it after me. I will not be afraid of death and bane till Burnham Forest come to Dunsinane. Ha ha ha!
What is this before us?
The wood of Burnham.
Let every soldier hew him down a bow and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our hosts and make discovery air and report of us.
It shall be done.
Hang out our banners on the outward walls! The cry is still, they come. Our castle's strength will laugh a siege to scorn. Here let them lie till famine and the ague eat them up. Were they not forced with those that should be ours, we might have met them, dareful, beard to beard, and beat them backward home. What is that noise?
It is the cry of women, my good lord.
I've almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been, my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek, and my fell of hair would, at a dismal treatise, rouse and stir as life were in it. I have supped full with horrors, direness, familiar to my slaughterous thoughts, cannot once start me. Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life is but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Gracious, my lord.
Thou comes to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
I should report that which I say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham, and anon methought the wood began to move.
Liar and fool.
Let me endure your wrath, if not be so. Within this 3 mile may you see it coming, I say, a moving grove.
If thou speak'st false, upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive, till famine cling thee. If thy speech be sooth, I care not if thou dost for me as much. I pull in resolution, and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not till Burnham Wood do come to Dunsinane. And now a wood comes toward Dunsinane. Arm, and out! If this which ye avouches does appear, there is nor flying hence, nor tarrying here. I begin to be aweary of the sun, and wish the state of the world were now undone. Ring the alarm bell, blow wind, come rack! At least we'll die with harness on our back.
Now near enough. Your leafy screens throw down and show like those you are.
Fare you well, my lord.
Make all our trumpets speak! Give them all breath! Those clamorous harbingers of blood and death!
They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear-like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one am I to fear, or none.
What is thy name?
Thou wilt be afraid to hear it.
No, though thou callest thyself a hotter name than any is in hell.
My name's Macbeth.
The devil himself could not pronounce a title more hateful to mine ear.
No, nor more fearful.
Thou liest, abhorrent tyrant. With my sword I shall prove a lie thou speaks.
Thou wast born of woman? Lo! But swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn, brandished by man that's of a woman born.
That way the noise is. Tyrant! Show thy face! If thou beest slain, and with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. I cannot strike at wretched kerns, whose arms are hired to bear their staves. Either thou, Macbeth, or else my sword with an unbattered edge I sheath again undeeded.
This way, my lord. The castle's gently rendered, and the day almost itself professes yours, and little is to do.
We have met with foes that strike beside us.
Enter, sir, the castle.
Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? Whiles I see lives, the gashes do better upon them.
Turn, hellhound.
Of all others have I avoided thee. But get thee back. My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword, thou bloodier villain than terms can give thee out.
Thou losest labor! As easy mayest thou the entrenchant air with thy keen sword impress, as make me bleed.
Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crests.
I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of women born!
Despair thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee, Macduff was from her mother's womb untimely ripped!
Accursed be that tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. And be these juggling fiends no more believed, that palter with us in a double sense, that keep the word of promise to our ear and break it to our hope, I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show and gaze of the time. We'll have thee as our rarer monsters are, painted upon a pole, and underwrit, here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rabble's curse! Though Burnham would be come to Dunsinane, and thou opposed, being of no woman born, yet I'll try the last. For my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on, Macduff, and damned be him that first cries, hold, enough!
I would the friends we miss were safe arrived.
Some must go off, and yet by these I see so great a day is cheaply bought. Macduff is missing, and noble Lennox.
Lennox, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. But like a man, he died. They'll say he parted well and paid his score.
And so God be with him. Here comes nor comfort.
Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold where stands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free. I
see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl, that speak my salutation in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail, King of Scotland!
We shall not spend a large, expensive time before we reckon with your several loves
and make us even with you. What's more to do as calling home our exiled friends abroad that fled the snares of watchful tyranny? Producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who, as 'tis thought by self-inviolent hands, took off her life. This, and what needful else that calls upon us by the grace of grace, we will perform in measure, time, and place.